You were born and raised in New York City. You were born in Korea. You were born in Hong Kong and raised in Toronto. You were born on Halloween. You were born and raised in Cairo. You were born in Beirut during the Civil War. You slept straight through the bombings. You were born in Brazil. You were born in Lima, Peru. You were born in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and were unschooled until age 13. You were born in Brooklyn to a Jamaican father and a Trinidadian mother. You were born in the town where David Bowie was arrested for smoking pot. You were born in Pančevo, Serbia. You were born in Guiyang, China.
Your mother says you were a happy child, never really any trouble, a joy to have around. You sent your very first sext at the age of 15. Maybe you were 13. You were up late talking to strangers in an AOL chat room when someone asked you to upload your photo. You can remember hesitating for a few minutes, then obliging, your heart galloping along.
Your Aunt Mildred taught you how to read stock market and finance reports. There she is, second on the list.
You moved 21 times before you were 15. Your junior prom was called Midnight Voyage. You received a scholarship for $1,144 to go to college in Colorado.
Living in Coles Tower at Bowdoin College, you would sometimes, late at night, play with the elevators. In your first sonic art class, you were told to howl at an imaginary moon and imagine the sound traveling back into your mouth.
You won the 2014 Critical Theory and Creative Research Thesis Award. Your stepfather shot the video. He works for UPS.
This year's recipient of the C.T. Sierra Thesis Award is a graduate summa cum laude of the University of South Florida with a double major in studio art and philosophy with a minor in art history. She has had numerous exhibitions and screen.
After 30 years of teaching, your high school English teacher can say without a doubt that you were the best student, most promising student he ever taught. Your success in the tech and business fields is astounding to him. He feels honored that you have asked him to join your LinkedIn list of friends.
You made this.
You made this.
You made this.
You made this.
You pitched your company to a panel of potential investors on the Israeli version of Shark Tank. You filed for a patent on September 9th, 2004, and received the patent on October 30th, 2007. You ran for New York City mayor in 2014. You never thought you would work in a library.
You made this.
You made this.
You made this.
You're the best teacher at Stony Brook University, and also the world, according to one of your students. Your colleague, Richard Turley, can't live without you. Roberta Smith said you were operating on all cylinders.
Congratulations on the gold medal for this cover story you helped design. This is the sound of the applause that greeted you before you gave a guest lecture at Yale on September 15th, 2015.
So without further ado, give a round of applause for today's lecture.
And then you went like this, and the crowd went crazy.
You ultimately strive to make something that might make a person feel the way you felt when David Bowman gazes into the black obelisk in 2001, A Space Odyssey, and proclaims, "The thing's hollow, it goes on forever, and oh my God, it's full of stars."
You made all these things. You dreamt of a cutting board. You dreamt Anthony Kiedis showed you where they filmed The Simpsons. You dreamt you gave birth at a Star Wars convention. You dreamt you were fighting off a beetle the size of a Labrador. You dreamt you walked another dog and it felt like cheating. You dreamt of JavaScript. You dreamt that you flew from New York to Los Angeles in 2 minutes when it takes hummingbirds 1 minute.
2 weeks ago, you reluctantly left LA. 109 weeks ago, you moved to Brooklyn, but forgot to tell Regina.
27 weeks ago, you stayed in this hotel room at the Four Seasons in North York.
You drove through West Virginia at night.
Weeks ago, you moved to Brooklyn. Your grandma hopes that you are very happy in the Big Apple. It would be an adventure, and it is the city that never sleeps. Good luck.
You ate this.
You ate this.
You ate all these things.
You ate this.
A waitress sang happy birthday to you.
You hosted a party last week and Jaden Smith came. You went to the ArcLight movie theater with Rose McGowan in February. At one point, you put your hand on her back. You told Harry Dean Stanton, I can't help feeling a little bit like Natasha Kinski having you on the other end of the line. He laughed gently and asked you what you were wearing. Beyonce sent you flowers. Why is she allowed to stand on that gross-ass carpet, you wonder? What is this whack-ass wall behind her?
Beyonce.
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 Let her run for president, you say. Let Bloomberg back her.
Giving her the Super Bowl, you say, was not enough.
To believe Beyonce is so rich and loved she doesn't experience racism, doesn't feel traumatized, is to erase her. You quoted that.
You've noted racism in Asian families, in apps, at Trump rallies, as the undercurrent of populism, as the tip of the iceberg in the environmental disaster of Flint, Michigan.
You think the following things are bullshit. The Long Island Railroad, the American Kennel Club, your commute when it shits from the sky in torrents, live tweeting, Stark's Chapeau Light, and the Learn to Code movement, some artist statements, non-disclosure agreements, the high regulation, low bond liquidity argument, and the way that tech conferences claim it's too hard to get gender parity. You have considered that a super intelligent artificial intelligence could spawn the end of bullshit.
A week ago, your current status was pitch black with crickets, hashtag off the grid, hashtag still on Instagram.
33 weeks ago, you had to cancel your camping trip because the hooks on the ankle of your hiking boots caused you to face plant on the subway. This is the friend who hung out with you in the ER at Brooklyn Hospital Center.
You broke 2 bones in your ankle after falling in the subway at 86th and Broadway.
A gallery tried to raise $10,000 to finance your first solo show, but they were only able to raise $4.
You sold this chair. The chair was clean and in good condition with only one nick.
You no longer have the receipt, but you feel hopeful that the 12-year warranty will be honored without it.
You lost your wallet.
But a stranger mailed it back to you.
It took you 9 months, but you finally learned how to play all of Debussy's Clair de Lune. I think we can all agree with your mother when she says, bravo, it makes me want to move the piano out to the field so you can play by the moonlight.
Your mom says the world is a very exciting place. It's just very exciting, she says, all the time. Your mom gave you her abandoned, unfinished copy of 50 Shades of Grey. Your mom talks a lot about her geocaching adventures. Your mom told you children are not for everyone. She gave you permission to not pursue the status quo. Your mom posed for a nude calendar for charity. This
is your
mom.
For most of your life, there were 2 things that never changed. One was your mother's lipstick shade. The other was the basketball player Paul Pierce, who played for the Boston Celtics. Then they discontinued the lipstick, and Paul Pierce became a New York Net.
You listened to Blink 182 for 10 years while you ran.
You listened to this when you ran in 2005. You took a moment to rest in the elevator, exhausted, after 5 miles of walking and 350 miles of driving to Las Vegas.
You are the first to take part in the Marin-Kandahar races, your sister announced. No one can take that away from you. History will remember your names.
You came in 51st place out of 57 swimmers in a 1-mile park-to-park swimming race.
Once, while playing Grand Theft Auto, you managed to make your character swim in the ocean away from the game for half an hour of repetitive gray water before he died. You heart sex. You love sex without condoms. You are sex positive unless it is heterosex. You had so much sex in a dream that you asked, who didn't I have sex with in that dream last night? The weekend's music makes you feel like a sex slave.
This is your butt 15 weeks ago.
You got a road rash on your butt.
You got a new tattoo. It's anyone's guess what part of your body this is.
35 weeks ago in Istanbul, the hotel maid mistook you and your boyfriend for honeymooners, sprinkling rose petals across your bed and shaping the towels into hearts. You were married at Powerhouse Books. Your close friend Jen Wares covered this song during the bridal processional.
Any old chance I'll get, I'm gonna marry you.
You did not get the deep spoon,
The pomegranate noir deluxe giant candle, or the chevron table runner listed on your wedding gift registry.
You did get the facet mirror, emerald cut. We can assume you saw yourself in it earlier today before you left your apartment.
You live here.
You live here
You live here.
with your dogs.
And your cats.
Your phone number is 914-980-1936.
Your phone number is 631-749-2508.
Your phone number is 251-675-8713.
You live here.
You live here.
You live here.
You live here.
In 1969, you lived on 122nd Street in Amsterdam in a 5-room apartment, and the rent was $69.62. Now you live here.
After getting laid off, your wife went back to grad school, which created tremendous pressure financially. You felt like you didn't make enough effort to make plans with her, but whatever free time there was, you felt had to go into making your art. You try to make 2 drawings a week.
When your child was born, you decided you would never post any photos or other personally identifying information about her online.
Your child.
Your child.
Your child.
Your child.
Your child sits at the table where you wrote the last revisions of your manuscript and sings.
Ground control the major come.
Your child.
Your children.
Your child.
Your granddaughter's nanny.
You wish your father was alive.
Your father is alive. Here he is. You can call him at 607-584-5659.
Your father sent you a note. Not sure what brand of contraceptive you are using, but please read this link just in case.
People used to get to die in secret, your father texted you. It's harder to cover that shit up now.
15 weeks ago, you posted these. Three weeks ago, you posted these.
Three weeks ago, Joe died too. Your Aunt Cappy passed away on May 22nd. She once held up the line at a bank where your face barely reached the marble counter, arguing that yes, she did work. She was a mother and her house was impeccably clean, and this was work and she would not uncheck that box.
You've seen all these sunsets. You saw a rainbow last night.
You saw a rainbow last night.
You saw a rainbow last night.
You love this thing Walker Evans said in 1960. I'll remind you of it now. Stare. It is the way to educate your eye and more. Stare, pry, listen, eavesdrop, die knowing something. You are not here long.
You asked us to imagine that this is all that was on French TV in 1969.